At the beginning of 1939, after annexing Austria and occupying Czechoslovakia, Germany also presented Lithuania with territorial claims. By signing an agreement of 22nd of March 1939, it acquired the Klaipėda region. Lithuania lost important industrial potential. About 27% of total industrial production was made here. 80% of total Lithuanian export and import fell to the port of Klaipėda, and for this reason, losing it, unbalanced foreign trade. Lithuania lost capital of 150 million litres invested into the Klaipėda region and a developed network of banks and other credit institutions. It had to buy out with money and goods 12 million litres banknotes that were in circulation from German Reich Bank. Litre circulation was replaced by German marks in the country. After Germany attacked Poland on the 1st of September 1939, the Second World War started. The Soviet Union occupied Vilnius and the Vilnius region that had been captured by Poland. The historic lands of our country were returned to Lithuania by an agreement between Lithuania and the Soviet Union. The Lithuanian flag was raised once again on Gediminas Castle. A hard task to reorganize the economy of the Vilnius region and finance and credit system fell to the government. First of all, residents of the country had to be provided with food products and a monetary reform had to be implemented. Zloty that circulated in the country had to be replaced by litres. The Bank of Lithuania established its branches in Vilnius, Trakai and Švenčionėliai, and Lithuanian commercial banks also opened their branches in Vilnius. Branches of Polish banks were closed. Zloty were taken out of circulation in 2 stages. During the first stage, one person was allowed to exchange up to 100 zloty at the rate of half a litres for 1 zloty. During the second stage, up to 300 zloty were exchanged at the same rate, and if a larger amount was being exchanged, 40 cents were paid for 1 zloty. The exchange rate was very favorable because only 1 litre was paid for 100 zloty at the Amsterdam exchange. Starting the 1st of December, Polish money stopped circulating in the Vilnius region. Lithuanian litres and cents took their place. Integration of the Vilnius region, increased defense expenditures and decreased export made the country's financial situation worse. Domestic and Vilnius loans were issued to overcome financial difficulties. Despite complicated political events, the position of the litres remained stable. However, the national money system was disrupted on the 15th of June 1940 when the Soviet Union annexed Lithuania. On the 1st of August 1940, the Bank of Lithuania, together with other banks and credit institutions, were nationalized. Bank shareholders lost capital invested into it, and residents lost valuable stores and safe deposit boxes. The occupation government requested the transfer of Lithuanian gold stored in the USA, Great Britain, Sweden and Switzerland to Moscow. However, only a Swedish bank obeyed the Soviet Union's request. USS Paknys, the patriotic-minded manager of the Bank of Lithuania, was fired and Aleksandras Drobnys was assigned to his position. Specialists of the bank were replaced with people who came from the Soviet Union. The Bank of Lithuania was turned into a Lithuanian Republican office of the Soviet Union State Bank. Soviet currency, the ruble, was put into circulation next to the litres in the country. 1 litre was equated to 90 kopecks, even though the real value of litres was 3 to 4 times higher. Prices of goods, wages and salaries of workers and servants, and taxes that were valid in the Soviet Union were introduced in Lithuania. The Lithuanian budget became a part of the Soviet Union's budget. Starting the 25th of March 1941, the circulation of litres was completely banned, and litres banknotes that were stored in vaults were burned. On the 18th of April alone, almost 250 million litres was burned. The occupational force took part of the silver for coins minting to Moscow. A lot of bank employees suffered from repression. Some people were shot and others were deported to the farthest reaches of the Soviet Union. After Germany started the war with the Soviet Union on the 22nd of June 1941, the German units occupied the Lithuanian territory in a few days. The new occupation government immediately introduced its own money, marks. The ruble was also left as legal tender. Residents were robbed again because 1 mark was equated to 10 rubles. A Reich credit till established in Riga administered money circulation in the country. Later, the still was called Note Bank of the Eastern region. In Lithuania, it had branches in Vilnius, Kaunas, Šiauliai and Panevėžys. Even though the Bank of Lithuania was re-established, it did not have the issuing bank rights and only operated as a commercial bank. Additionally, in 1943, its operation was completely banned. Residents who kept deposits in banks during the war experienced big losses. Limited withdrawal amount and funds of companies and residents stored in banks were used to finance war expenditures. When retreating, Hitlerites stole and took to Germany over 30 tons of coin silver from Bank of Lithuania. After the Soviet army returned to Lithuania in 1944, the Lithuanian Republican office of the Soviet Union State Bank was re-established. German money was replaced with Soviet money again.